Today's episode is sponsored by Tulip, an LLC formation company. Form your LLC in under 5 minutes at startwithtulip.com. Enjoy the show.
Hi everyone, those who I've seen before, those I haven't. My name is Shaquita, and I really don't know really what my task is here today. This is the beginning, my name. This is the origin of me.
We got 14-year-olds here. We got 14-year-olds here and everything. So that way, we're just having a conversation. So that way, you're able to tell a story and everybody and build on that story.
Okay.
And that way, you'll be able to help some of the young lady and young men. You know what I'm saying? To see something, that they may go through in life a little differently. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
All right.
Well, I was born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. I am a product of a big family, not too big, but big. I was the only girl for 16 years before my mama had another girl. So I pretty much was the mama of the house. And what else? I was with my grandma a lot. Well, great-grandmama and grandmama. And growing up, I grew up in church, like in church, but not in church. Like I went to church because I had to go to church. And my curiosity didn't grow until it was old enough for me to understand certain things about church. And as I grew up, I was more of a, in my imagination type of person. I was an imaginary person. So everything that I seen or everything I heard, I absorbed it. Like especially movies. I made my whole lifestyle be like a movie in my head. I just thought it was gonna be picture perfect. I thought I was gonna have, the husband, the little dog, the girl, the boy, the white picket fence, because this back in my time, that's what they had. But I didn't know that the real world was like different than what I saw on TV. So as I was out there, I started like learning new things that I wasn't taught at home. And I was more curious though. So I was very curious. So I was just indulging to a lot of things that I knew that I wasn't supposed to indulge in because I'd already been taught, right and wrong and bad and good. But I was like, I need to learn. I need to know for myself. Like they learn for themselves. Let me learn for mine. Because time's not the same when parents are young and you young. You feel like there was old age, like when dinosaurs was roaming the earth. Now that I'm older, now my children think I was here when dinosaurs roamed the earth. But anywho, I was like any other person when I left from elementary, I was very curious, so I got into every program they had at school because I wanted to learn and also just know things. So I was in everything, science club, chess club, band, anything that let me be in, I would be in. But then that started getting boring, so I explored outside the school. And then middle school, that's when I started hanging out with other people because I always was an introvert. I was shy. I don't know why, but I was. I didn't like being around people, but I liked people. I was just too nervous to be around them. So middle school, I started hanging around other females and started getting like into major red clubs and truly lit. So of course, I'm still learning. So the gospel was getting a boyfriend. I never wanted to be the one to have a boyfriend because I thought I was a boy myself because I was raised with a lot of boys before my sister came. So I was very tomboyish. So every boy that I hung out with, I thought that we were brothers. Like I was a brother too. And so I didn't understand the different terminologies of girls and boys at the time, but I knew it, but in my mind, I'd already blocked it. So as I got into the 8th grade, the girls around me started talking about their boyfriends, and I was like, dang, I need to give me a boyfriend so I can fit in, so I can, be able to have something to talk about when we having our little group discussions and stuff, instead of looking, crazy. So I found a boyfriend. And what I mean by that, I ain't just really care about no really major about it. I'm just like whoever popular in school, of course, that's who we would probably want to talk to. But at that time, I didn't understand like the parts about the other stuff, like the grown people stuff. But everybody else did, so that's what they were talking about. And so I'm like, I need to find out what that's about. I mean, I just was just trying to find out everything. And I shouldn't have been trying to find out everything, but I did. And by that time, I had asked one of my cousins, I like, can you hook me up with somebody? Because I'm like, somebody older. Because the guys my age, the guys in my school, I said they was too immature. I was like, I don't want to talk to nobody, you know, my age, because they childish. And, not, you know, I'm a child, but I didn't feel like it. So she hooked me up with somebody older. And then that's when I learned about skipping school. Of course, I didn't know all these things because I was too busy trying to find out the inside, the good part of life before I found out the other stuff like I didn't know about. And so when I got put onto like skipping school, the older guy, of course, he was out of school because he was grown. He was like, hey, you know, you want to come over? And I'm like, I got school. And then he was like, you just leave. I said, I can't leave the ground because I'm thinking if I leave school that some alert gonna go off or something like that because, you know, I'm leaving school because I never done it before. So I was nervous. But I had another cousin that used to do it. And she was like, I'll go with you. I said, so what we supposed to do? Just walk out the door? And then so we ended up leaving. I went over to the guy's house and my curiosity still grew. And it probably should not have, but it did. And stuff was happening that I didn't understand. But quickly afterwards, I realized it's not something I really wanted to like really explore at that moment. So by this time, it's nighttime though. Here I am, I done left school. So my parents, they like, she ain't come home from school, they looking for me. But the guy lived in the neighborhood where I live at. So they already caught wind of where I was and stuff like that. So they called the police. And then the police came and got me and I had to spend the night in jail. So the next day, my parents came pick me up. They were like, did you do anything? I'm like, do anything like what? I'm like, what is you saying? And so they would ask me all types of questions. And I was like, no. But I was trying to, but no. And then they was like, let us know now. Because if you did, we could go get a plan B. Me, I'm like, what is a plan B? Because I'm naive. I'm only 14 years old. I don't know nothing. And so I was like, I don't think whatever you think I did, I didn't do. So I might not need what you think I need. So shortly after that, like 6 months later, I was getting like sick and stuff. And I didn't understand, you know, what was going on, but I just thought I was getting, you know, older, going through changes because it's something that I had been taught. But go to find out, when I went to my doctor visit for the year, they told me that I was expecting. And I was like, ain't no way I could be expecting if I ain't done nothing to be expecting. And they was like, yeah, you must be lying. I was like, no, I ain't lying. I ain't saying that I didn't try, but I didn't. And they was like, you had to. I was like, but no, you got to understand. I did not. I was trying, but I didn't. And then so end up, I had, you know, of course, by this time I'm 6 months. And so I had to go through with my pregnancy at 14 years old in the 8th grade. Too ashamed to go back to school, but I ended up going to, after having a baby, they had to put me into an emergency C-section because of the simple fact, if you guys don't know what C-section is, when they have to cut the child out of you. They put me in an emergency C-section because I was a high risk because as they found out, I didn't. I didn't do what I said I didn't do, what they thought I did. But in the trying to do it, the situation happened where the guys, you know, but anywho, it happened to the point where we didn't have to actually, but it happened. So I let you guys know if any of you don't know about the little stuff that we do when we being frisky with our little boyfriends, like that's dangerous too. Don't do that either. So don't be all on, like what they say when your mama say you sit on your lap, you're going to get pregnant. Believe me. You sit on somebody's lap, you can get pregnant. But, so I had the baby, went to summer school, and then by this time I'm thinking to myself, that's not fair. I got a baby, and I ain't get to do the things that people do to have a baby. I was like, so I need to do the things to have, you know, to make myself feel like I'm grown, like now, because now I'm grown, I got a baby. Even though I'm 15, because after I had the baby, I turned 15. Now I'm a 15-year-old with a newborn. Now I was like, let me go and think about being grown and raising a baby, which I don't know, because here I am in 8th grade. Go to summer school, they put me up to 10th grade, I never went back. Because I was like, now I'm just like, school is not for me, because first of all, I feel like everything they teaching me, I already know, which I thought I knew, but I thought I knew, but I didn't. Because in my mind, I'm grown. Like, once you made your mind up, you're grown. A lot of stuff just don't even phase you the way that it used to phase you as a child, or when you was growing up and when you was curious and not knowing and not thinking that you know, and then closing your mind to knowing. So I started like just hanging out with older people and just doing stuff that I definitely wasn't supposed to be doing. And then still in church. Like, I still was going to church, but I was still just like one of those people that just go to church, just be there because that's a routine, because you used to go to church on Sundays. So I was never just really listening to nothing or trying to learn nothing in church. And it's crazy because it's like I wanted to learn everything out in the world, but I never wanted to learn none in church. That's because everything in church I didn't understand. And so being in church, I just felt like I was in a foreign country. Like, they were speaking languages I did not understand. They were trying to teach me stories I don't want to know, because it's like, who want to know about when the world was being formed? I'm like, the world is formed now. I need to know what I need to do to, be able to go forward here now. Nothing in the history going to teach me how to be, going forward in the present. So I never just really curiously wanted to learn anything about church. So as I was going on in life, it's like stuff was happening to me, and I was like still not understanding about God, because I never really just tried to learn, was there a real God or heaven or hell or none. And then during this time, I'm in all these different kind of relationships and stuff, because I don't know nothing about relationships, but I think I know because I'm still basing stuff off of movies. But instead of doing things the way the movies doing, I was doing it backwards. So here I am, always having the children, but never having the husband. I'm just like, what in the world? Something ain't right. And so it was a situation that happened to me that was very tragic. That I was in church. I invited one of my little guy friends to church that day, and it was an evening service, and he came in, and I don't know if any of you are familiar with altar calls. They did an altar call. I'm familiar with them. I'm always going up there, but I'm not believing nothing because, okay, whatever this is. But this particular day, we went up there. Of course, I'm just playing because it's just something I'm used to doing. But the pastor started talking to my guy friend and was telling him little stuff about him. And I was just like, He was like, it's time for you to give your life to the Lord and all this stuff. Like the same old, little stuff they always say. And he was just laughing too. And he older than me, of course. But he was like, I ain't ready yet. I ain't ready. And then he was like, who could say that you will be able to come back? And I'm used to these little same old speakers like, why are they always telling people this, trying to scare people into doing or getting saved and stuff like this? So after that happened, I say like 2-3 days later, something happened. Me and him kind of fell out. So I'm one of the ones that have a lot of dreams. So I have like vivid dreams, like with people that I know in it. And it kind of like, some of the stuff I be thinking like, it's crazy, but okay. But one of these dreams, it was very specific. It was just like a movie. It was like what happened to him, it was just like, it was grotesque. So I called him. Even though we weren't on talking terms, I was shaking because it was just something in me. It was unsettling. I was like, I just had a dream about you. And I told him the full description of the dream. He started laughing. He said, he made jokes about it because in the dream he had got murdered. And I was just like, it's not funny because something ain't right. I was like, I just don't feel right about this. I don't know why, but something, I don't feel right. So 3 days later passed, my son, my oldest, at this time I had 3 children. So I was 22 years old, 3 children. My oldest son had an episode. I didn't know what it was because none of my children ever been sickly or whatever. So I took him to the emergency room. They said he was having an asthma attack. I was like, hold up. My baby ain't never been diagnosed with asthma, so I didn't know what this was. So we had to stay overnight. So while I was there, I got a call from the front desk saying, hey, you got some visitors. And I was like, visitors? It's like midnight. Like, y'all don't let people in this hospital. I'm in Labona. Y'all don't let people in. So I was like, okay, I'm coming down. So So I'm nervous the whole time. It's the same feeling I've been feeling all week. And I'm just like, something. My stomach, I just feel like it was butterfly. I was nervous. I just felt nervous. I don't know why. When I was in the room, I was reading the Bible. I don't know why. Because I didn't understand the Bible. That was the only book there. And I used to love to read. So I would read it. And then that's when that call came. And I went downstairs and it was my cousin. Like 2 of my closest cousins. And they were crying. And so the first thing I'm thinking, like, somebody in my family that died. I'm like, was it mama? Was it grandmama? Like, who died? And they was like, they said my friend's name. And then I was like, what? They was like, I'm sorry, he ain't make it. I was like, nah, I said, nah, y'all confused. Then I was like, what happened? When they gave me the description of what happened, I almost fell out. Because it was the exact description of the dream that I had that happened to him. And I was like, y'all got to be lying. I was like, y'all lying. And they was like, no, he gone, like seriously. So I didn't believe it until I got out and found out for myself. So after then, the next Sunday came, I wasn't going to church. But it was word sent to me to get to church. And so when I got to church, that's when, of course, they were doing an altar call because they was like, that's why they called for me. And they was like, it was my auntie. She was the first lady. She was like, and of course, that probably played a part in the reason why I was like I was with church too, because the church people that was in the church was my family. So I see how they was living in church, and I saw how they were living outside the church. So I'd be like, what's the point? So I was kind of confused, but then I just didn't want to deal with it. But anywho, she called me up and she told me, she was like, what you thinking about doing or what's about to happen to you, you better not do it. And I'm like, what is this woman talking about? She said, I'm just telling you, do not do it. And I was like, do what? So after I left there, went to my doctor's appointment next day, I found out I was pregnant. I'm like, oh my goodness. This is the 4th child. I'm 22. I ain't finna have this, baby. And then when I said that, the first thing I thought about was what my auntie said. Don't do it. I was like, is she talking about this? I was like, no, she can't be talking about these. Because I'm finna, no, I ain't having this baby. Because I got 3 children, 22. Where my life at? So, and at this time, I was going to school to get my GED. And I was like, I'm just now finna get my life back on track. I can't be like, I don't need the distractions. I don't need this in my life. So after I had left from the doctor and stuff, I already called the people to, set an appointment because I wasn't finna have this baby. And so I let the daddy know. I was like, yeah, you might as well get the payment ready because I'm not finna have this baby. And so he was all in agreement too. He's like, I don't need no other baby either because of course, he was older and he had other children. And not only other children, go to find out he had. And I was just like, what? Oh, I know for sure, I'm not gonna have no baby by no man that's married and deal with those problems. Then I'm hurt anyway because I found out he was married. And so it's just like, okay, I'm definitely getting this abortion. So, of course, a couple of months passed by and I wasn't in church because I didn't want to deal with it. But then when it was almost time for my, because I kept putting it off also. I didn't go. I kept putting it on. I'm like, I'm go. But it was a certain amount of months you could be before you be like, oh, you can't get it no more. So it was like right at that mark when I was like, I'm finna go and get it because I don't know why I kept putting it off. I think I just was nervous because I thought it was gonna hurt. Then I'm thinking it might kill me. Then I'm just like a lot of things. So I just like, I don't care what if I die, whatever. I'm going to get this abortion. So I was scheduled to go get that Monday. This Sunday, they sent word for me again. And as you could tell, I have respect enough for this auntie that I always go when she send word for me. When everybody else asks, I don't go. But this auntie, yeah, I'm going. So I went to church this Sunday. And the thing she said to me, I'm talking about, oh my goodness. She was saying so much stuff that I know I didn't tell nobody in my life about. Nobody. And so I was just sitting up there crying and stuff like that. And so she was like, it's time to give your life to the Lord and you need to stop running. And this, she was just saying about the baby and stuff and what their purpose is and that the God don't make no mistakes. And So that's when I really just started like really opening my heart and my ears up to just, God, and just, listening, because it was too like, I was like, how everything is like right on. Like, how y'all know these things? Like, y'all ain't following me around. Nobody watching y'all. Y'all ain't got no cameras on me. So I'm just like, I just started opening my mind up, being more curious towards God after that situation. So when it was time for me to go the next day to get my thing, the guy called. He was like, "You ready?" I'm like, "Nah, I ain't gonna go." And then he was like, "You sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure." And then he was like, "Okay, then. Well, I'm just letting you know I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna take care of my child and all this stuff like that." I said, "Cool." But of course, it didn't pan out. And then it was a long while after that before I just like really just, I don't know, settle down, I could say. And then during that time, that's when I was in church and I was starting to listen. And I was like, getting my life back on track. And then I had like a lot of guy friends in my life and stuff like that. But then I was like, I knew of temptation then, but at the same time, I didn't know the effects of temptation. So it's just like me, I'm the one, like if somebody say, "Hey, the water's hot, don't touch it." And I'm like, maybe it's hot to you, but it might not be too hot for me. So I'm still go try to touch it. So it's like I always had to be the one to try to go find out for myself and make myself a believer. But then in the long run, I always found out what the person told me not to do, why not to do it is the reason why I should not have done it, but I did it. And so the story just continued on, and I get good for a minute, then I fall off. And every time I fell off, it's like that's when I get close to somebody, and I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, I'm so in love. And then I end up pregnant. Then I have a baby, and then I realize I ain't in love. And then I like, it was just a pattern by this time, so I'm just used to it. And it was just like continuing on throughout the years, on and on and on and on. So leading up to now, because I feel like it's just too much to just keep like breaking down out, because it's a lot. I in and out, all the way up to this point. And I say it was just last year when God just really like, you know what? You're gonna either serve me or you're gonna suffer. And I'm just like, I'm tired of suffering. I'm like, and all the suffering is self-inflicted. It's nothing nobody else do to me. It's what I do to myself, because I always do what I want to do. So I cannot blame nobody but myself. So when I'm going to get tired of myself and want to do right. So during these time, of course, I'm in church and constantly still, like I'm still going to altar calls. And I'm just like, you know what, Lord, I'm for real. I am ready. And I done said this to him a million billion times. So I don't know why he just keep forgiving me and believing me, but he was, and he still is today. And I'm just like, okay, you done showed yourself to me so many times. Now it's time for me to just really open up and just like start to serve you and do things like you want me to do. And at this time, there's like, 9 children later, 7 baby daddies later. And then I was like, he's still through it all been graceful to me. And here I am today.
Do you have a passion for trucking? Are you looking for a reputable company to power your driving career? Gigs is America's leading CDL recruiting firm. With hundreds of driving positions available, you will be on the road in no time. Visit us online at www.drivewithgigs.com.
Have you ever been married?
Yes.
How many times?
Once.
How did it come to an end?
Well, we had got advice from a pastor, because they say we should go to marriage and counseling before you get married. And so I'm from a traditional church, of course. So I went to ask questions. I told him that we wanted to get married, and he told me we weren't ready. But at the same time, they were constantly preaching and teaching us in church that we're not supposed to shack up. But we was living together. And so I didn't want to feel the pressure of living to stand together and not being married. So we only got married off of those terms because we was living together. Even though we had church together, but that ain't what caused us to get married. We got married because of the church. And so it wasn't really one of those loving marriages. So it didn't grow into it either. But it was like more of a friendship. And you know how most people say, hey, you marry your best friend. But some people are just friends. And so that was us. And that's us now. We're still friends. But the relationship phase was not for us. So we kept forcing it. So it was so many problems. But once it finally ended, we became cool again.
One more. How did you know your fiance was the one?
My fiance?
Yeah, right now.
The new one?
Yeah.
How did I got to answer his question first.
Because he took my question.
It's more so all aspects, not just feeling it, just knowing it. It's just like mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. It's like it's a whole different ball game. It's something I never felt in my 39 years living. So I just like, I don't know what this is, but it's different and I like it. That's what I told him. So we've been going forth since then.
So you know he the one.
Huh?
So you know he the one.
Yes. Absolutely.
Where did you meet this? I'm just playing. No, I'm stuck. Where did you meet him? Because let my old girl tell he talk too much. She don't like that. He be getting on your nerves.
Not at all. Like, I met him actually a place I said I would never meet nobody, which is on Facebook. And I only don't do that because it make me think about like dating sites, and I feel like I'm not against them. I just feel like I'm more of a face-to-face person, so I like to meet people traditionally, like on the streets. So whenever like people in my inbox, I entertain it, but I don't never take it serious. But when his message popped up, it's like it threw me off. I don't know why, because I didn't receive millions of messages, but his message just stood out from everybody's message. And I was like very intrigued. It wasn't nothing that he said. It was just it's on my nerves. But first of all, they talk about me, not you. It wasn't nothing he said at first that made me just like notice his message. But then when I read it, it's like with everything that I read, I felt it. Like most messages that I done read before, I never feel them. I'm very like, if y'all haven't picked up on it, I'm very like passionate. I'm very like, I'm a feelings person. So when I read it, I had this feeling like, you know, like I told you about the butterfly with like when God and all that. Not saying that was connected like with the butterfly, but it was different. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna pay him some attention.
I got another question.
And also, let me answer your other question. I don't think he talk a lot. I think I do. So that's probably why we connect so much, because I talk a lot. And sometimes I ask him, baby, do I talk too much? He was like, no. And I just be like, I think I do. Because I think I hear my voice a little too much. Now that's because you be around him. You ain't been around me. So if you ever was to be around me, you be like, oh yeah, she talk a lot too. So I talk a lot, yes.
Okay, my second question is, I don't know how to put that question. I don't.
Just say it. It ain't no. What you mean? No, go ahead. I'm
okay. So out of all the men that you've been with, how do you know that he the one?
out of all
What
the
makes
men.
you think that he's the one and it's not just a feeling like you think?
That's why I said it's just not a feeling like, you know, like emotional feeling. It's more deeper than just that. It's like every aspect of those things, like, you know, when it comes to like mental, emotional, spiritual, all those things, like it's a whole nother level. So I always been an emotional person, as I said. Those things would make me realize a lot of stuff was lust. And so instead of like looking at things in the sight like I used to, like I said, when I got rid of all those things, I started seeing things way more clearer. And then I started noticing things too. So not only was I listening to my mind or my body, to be honest, that's what I was doing. I started listening to my heart. And so just doing that, it's like a lot of things that I wasn't aware about myself. Like, say, for instance, my value, my worth, and all that stuff. I wasn't paying it much attention because I was too busy giving it to other people. I wasn't paying attention to myself. But when he came along and made me realize how much I wasn't, because he was doing it, and it made me feel different because I was just like, I'm not used to this, because like those other guys, we didn't have what me and him have. So it's like just even the conversation, even the talking about God is like everything is totally different. And so I was like, to be honest, I had a list when I was younger that I told God. I was like, this is what I want my dream man to be. Them lists, we never get those things ever. Like, we probably get one or two things off of it. But I keep telling him, like, and I told him before that he literally checked off everything that was on that list. And like how most people be like, well, there's no perfect person or perfect, guy or wife or girlfriend or boyfriend or nothing like that. But at the same time, it's like two people can, do things in an order that make things seem perfect and make it seem like it connects, it works together. And that's what we do.
Okay, I got one more question. Get in my last question.
Oh, you fine.
Okay. I think it's like two questions in one.
Okay.
So my first question is, out of all the stuff you've been through, how did it make you become the person that you is today? And my second question is, anything in your past do you be still dwelling on it or regret anything?
Okay. The first question is, say it again one more time?
The first question is, everything that you've been through, how did it make you become the person that you is today?
I say it made me become how I am today because of actually going through it. I feel like life is an experience of its own. So like everything that you've been taught, it really don't come into play till you in that moment. Like a lot of stuff you get, you learn stuff at different stages too. Like as a child, you got to learn how to, to learn how to walk, learn how to eat for yourself and stuff like that. So as you grow up, you still have these stages in life. So you have to learn things that you've been taught. Then you have to put it with like the current situation. You be like, hold up. Sometimes you have to adjust it. You can't take it just what you know. You have to add more to it. So like as I go through stuff, it kind of like make me understand a lot of things and a lot of people and a lot of stuff more. So as I get to understand it, I can move differently and stuff like that. So now I say that I'm like I am because of life, like just going through everything that I went through, but really going through, like not saying this, and when it really, how some people like you got to fake it to make it. Like, no, I would say what it is. If I'm hurt, I'm hurt. If I'm happy, I'm happy. And I'm not gonna let nobody else take that from me. And then like when I was young, I always tried to stay in this little category because I wanted everybody to look at me as the good person, or I was trying to please my mama, trying to please my grandma, I'm trying to please everybody with what they thought I should do or how I should live. But at the same time, it wasn't fitting for what I was becoming. So that's why I feel like it was always a struggle. It was always me going against, what I knew was right, or going against good, or going against bad, because it's like I'm experiencing life in my own way, in my own mind, but at the same time trying to live by certain rules and standards and stuff. And then finding out on down the road that some of that stuff is just like, that ain't on nothing. Like some stuff that you learn in your family, like say for instance, not saying your family is bad, family or nothing, but the way they go about things is how they went about when they was, coming up and stuff. So they teach you how to do it. But then as you come, say for instance, God using you for certain things and stuff, like you were meant to do things different than your family. So therefore, it's a lot of traditions and stuff that you're not able to go by and be comfortable with, because it's just like it's not feeling comfortable with you. And so you got to go against it. So they cash you out. You the black sheep of the family because you don't want to go by what they go by. You don't want to do things the way they want you to do it because you starting to listen to God and do things a different kind of way. They feel like you being used by the devil. And so I'm just like, okay, now I'm kind of deserted on my own. So I'm finding stuff out on my own. And so I kind of like been going through life like that. And then God had always put me with people that are similar in a way, like be going through something that I'm going through, or it came out of something that I'm going in, or it came out of, like I can connect or, relate to them on a lot of different terms and stuff. And then like I always like hanging out with older people. So I take in a lot of knowledge because I like to learn. Like I like my mind to grow. Like, so I get into a lot of different things for that reason. And so with that, I just feel like with the knowledge that I gain every single day, make me the person that I am, because it's like I can understand in so many different, like through everybody's own perspective or through everybody's own like life and stuff like that, because everything always different. And so I always say whatever I do, I'm going to move in love. I'm going to move in like knowing that I'm going to be a positive, influence or impact on somebody's life, because that's all I wanted growing up. And I know what it could do for somebody. Because when I feel inspired or feel encouraged or feel heard, which he do that to me every single day, that make me feel like I can go out there and just conquer the world. But when you by yourself doing it, it's like it's way more harder. It feel like it's so much pressure on you. It feel like you never know. But then when you got somebody right there to just like help push you along, be like, I know you can do it and all that stuff like that. So I inspire to be that person for others too, because I know how it feels. And you said the second question was, I'm sorry.
It's okay. The second question was, what I say? No, is there anything that in your past that you regret or you wish that you could redo?
I never, as a child, I always felt like I don't believe in regrets. I know they're real, but I don't believe in. I feel like whatever you do wholeheartedly. So anything you done, you be like, no, that was a mistake. No, that somebody decided I wanted to do at the time, but I know now there was a bad choice. There was a bad decision, and I'm gonna learn from it, and I'm gonna grow from it. And as you can see, I'm always trying to learn and grow. So I always had that mindset, and so I don't regret nothing of my past. And then a lot of times people be like, well, what about, you having all them children and not being married, or they all not having the same dad. And I feel like every time that I got pregnant was a time that I should have died. And so every time that God gave me life, that's when I should have been out of here. So I learned something from every last one of my children, regardless of the situations or relations that I was in. My children was the blessing from that. And so I don't regret it, because with them, I have learned, I have grew. We have grew together because I was a teenage mother, 15 years old. So we grew together. So my oldest right now, he's 24, and my youngest is 2. So I'm still learning. I learned from then to now because I'm in between. Because now I'm old, but I got a baby. So I have to stay in the current, because I'm going to have to go through it with them, because I have to teach them so they can be adapting to the life as it is now, not when I was a child. So I have to see things in this point of view and see it in this perspective. So I don't have regrets, but I do know where I have made some bad decisions, and I know how I can go about it now to teach my children or anybody else how to go about that. If they're listening, I can just tell you, all I can do is just like plant the seed, meaning I can just offer my advice. That's if you want it, and then we can go from there.
Anybody else?
I'm on some childish stuff right now. I was gonna ask, what did he possibly say to catch your attention?
I definitely don't. Because, like, no lie, I do not remember what it was. I just know the magnitude that he seen me. When I say he seen me, not like how other people see me. Not like how somebody look at me and be like, oh, she pretty. Because he wasn't capitalizing on how I look. He wasn't looking at like capitalizing on how my body looked. He wasn't looking at all that because half of the time I don't post stuff like that. He was looking at my quotes. He was looking at my like how I was like sending certain like things and like stories and stuff. Like he literally broke it down. He's like, I've been paying attention. He's I've been watching. I was like, oh my. At first, okay, I'm like, I done had a couple stoppers. I was like, maybe this one of those. But I was like, but at the same time, like my mind was telling me that, but like I said, I had no, it's like, nah, this is different. It's different. And he's definitely different. And then I like it because I'm different. And so, and I like that because usually when people say that, that mean you're not trying to be like everybody else. You're not trying to fit in because sometimes we're not meant to fit in. And then when I saw that, he was like, because that's always been my type anyway. I don't like nobody that try to be like everybody else or want to try to impress people. I'm like, why men feel like they have to have this big old egotistical, mindset thinking they got to be more macho than other men. Well, we ain't in the animal kingdom. You ain't no tiger or no lion. You ain't got to prove your worth to nobody. But it just seemed like that's what men do. Like I got the baddest girlfriend or I got the nicest car or the biggest house. And I'm just like, I don't care about all that. And then money too, because it'd be like, well, you need money because you got to take care of your children. But my thing is, just like they offer jobs to men, they offer jobs to women. So why do I really need a man to take care of me? So during that time when I met him, I was already on that kind of phase where I was like, I was done dating. Because I had just got out my divorce. And I'm like, I ain't want no man. I was like, I ain't even looking to date. I don't care about it. I'm just having fun. Like, I'm finna be the best mom. Like, my focus had got to the point where best daughter to God, best daughter to my mama, best mother to my children. Like, I was focusing on that kind of stuff. Then when he came in, I'm just like, what did you do to me? Like, I was on a spell. Like, do you know voodoo? I asked him that. I was like, is this? I'm like, something ain't right, because I just don't know what this is. I wasn't looking for it, but it definitely had got me and put me in a chokehold. That's why I asked him every other day, do you think I'm strong? He like, no, I don't know. What you mean? I was like, I act ways I never had before. So I'm just like, is this what strong is? Because I don't know what strong is, because I never just really been in one of those type of relationships. Because I never felt that with nobody else. I never connected the way that I connect with him. So it's like each day is more, it's different. And I just like, oh, okay, this is a blessing in itself. Like each day, I'm like, not just life. You gave me somebody who just made me feel like life is just blissful. And I'm just like, every day I wake up, I'm just smiling like a baby, just like happy until life come and hit me with something. I'm like, oh, he like, baby, what's wrong? I be like, nothing, nah. But something, it was nothing. Because now I can handle it. Because you keep me, I ain't saying that that's his job. It's just him. He do that, his aura, him. Just his being, I can't even explain it, his spirit, I just saying, like, he like so much. That's like she said, get out here. Right? Because he never heard me say stuff like this. I try to show him with hugs and just like reassurance, because I'm very like physical, so I just like rub his shoulders or something like, but verbally telling him, I never just like sit and tell him things. He tell me, but I'm still learning to get to that point, because I know he needs to hear it just as much as I do. Like, we both in deserving of the same things, but I show him physically, he do both. So.
We got more. He got one. He want to say really.
Not TJ got one.
I got a question.
TJ, you ain't part of it.
Yes, I am.
You a hoe.
This is my class. I'm a part of it. Okay, what did you not you didn't encourage him verbally because, or say those things verbally because you wasn't taught, or just something you're not used to, so
Definitely. And I explained that to him, coming from like the background that I came from. They're more tough, excuse me. My family is a tough love type of family. They don't do like those They don't do hugs. They don't do the random I love yous. They don't do none of that. Everything that I've been taught is just been more hardcore. So when I first met him, he thought I was very hardcore. And I ain't gonna say thought. I was very hardcore because I have come from like, keep in mind, I was a single mother. So therefore I was rose, but more so standing more firm on the male road, which I don't know how I could try to really, enhance it because I'm not a male, but I had to be both of those parents for my children.
Right.
So going into the relationship, he was like, no, I ain't used to no woman being all manly. And I'm just like, well, I'm just saying, like, I don't think I'm manly. I tell him that I was just confident, or I'll just tell him that I was just being what I felt like was necessary. But he was like, but you don't have to be there with me. And I'm just like, it literally was learned, to be honest, during the times that for the 2 years that we've been together. Like, all my life, this is the first time I say what this era would call it, a soft girl era. I never knew none about it. I don't know nothing about soft girl because all I knew how to be is tough and independent because I had to raise my children and go get it the best way I knew how. And I was not going to be subject to be one of those women who will just like give in to somebody just because you want your children to be taken care of. And I'm like, no, I didn't want them to be in one of those kind of lifestyles because I don't want to be in one of the lifestyles.
That's good. That's good. Any more questions?
Hot topic. Do you believe in prenups?
Prenups? Yeah, I believe in it. I believe in it. I definitely will. Mine for the reason of what I'm coming into the picture with. Because I don't want no one to ever think that I'm coming in for any gains. The only gain I'm trying to gain is the heart and an eternity for us to live together and be together and keep each other inspired the way we've been inspired, but no kind of like other things.
Yeah. He was basically saying that if he love you, well, yeah, he don't believe in prenups, but he said if he love you, then he'll love you enough to leave you something afterwards.
I don't believe in prenups though, so I'm like,
Who said? I was gonna ask.
huh? I don't care about prenups.
Whatever we get while we married, we get it together. It's both sides. And when we separate, we're gonna make sure everybody say something. Everybody, who got my phone?
Right here.
Say something.
Hello.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh.
We're gonna make sure everybody gets what they supposed to get anyway. Now, what I bring into the marriage, what you bring into the marriage, when we become a unity, is both ours. It's not mine anymore. It's not yours anymore. So again, when we separate, we're gonna sit everything down. If you a stay-at-home mom and I work 16 hours a day to build $1 billion empire, if we separate, 500 million is yours because that's being at home those 16 hours. I mean, wouldn't put you in the position for me to be at home those 16 hours. I mean, be at work those 16 hours. So whoever, the man or the woman, they deserve that. And when to be honest, when you bring something to the table, like if you marry somebody that got money and you ain't got money, God, you going into it because that person gonna always have mind over your head. If that person is holding on to the material, but if that person seeing you and valuing you for who you is, then it's not mine or his or it's hers no more. It's ours. So right then you entitled to something. Now, if you go into a situation where you marry somebody that got $100 million and y'all divorced in 2 years, you can't expect them to give you $5 million, but they still give you enough to work you straight for the rest of your life. If they don't do that, that person didn't care nothing about your well-being, they care nothing about you. Now, if you evil person and didn't care nothing about them, you're gonna go after more than whatever it is they give you, especially if they give you something first. But both of y'all at that point, y'all just going acting out of your emotions. Ain't neither one of y'all doing anything out of love, care, protect, money. If you sign a prenup, and you going into it with the wrong mindset. You going into it thinking mine and yours. I don't agree. Yeah, you say you don't agree.
He said he don't agree.
I'm telling you, you going into it. Go ahead.
I disagree with that because the thing about it is, if I didn't worked hard, scrapped hard, in the middle of the night, looking upside the wall, going through all the stresses of trying to figure this thing out, how to make my business run successful, be successful, connect with the right people, meet with the right people, stressing over bad deals after bad deals after bad deals, and ultimately get it right and land on a firm foundation. You know what I'm saying? And get it going. It becomes the snowball effect. You feel me? And I end up down the road meeting the individual that don't have what I have. Show me that you love me. If I want a prenup, sign on the dotted line because I know my heart. And it's up to you for you to learn my heart. You feel what I'm saying? Because you could say, oh, well, I shouldn't sign this prenup, because I love you. Show me you love me. Because baby, I've been through hell and back to build what I done built. You know what I'm saying? So, but I love you. I love you. I'd have been in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? You weren't there when I was in the trenches. You feel me? You weren't there when I was about to go straight nuts and hug myself. You feel what I'm saying? Because being an entrepreneur is something serious. It's figuring out a whole lot. When you try to stand on business and really handle some stuff and grow a business, it's serious. It comes along with a lot of stresses.
What happens if you gain your success and you're not an entrepreneur? What if you want to like you just get the gig or mom and them left you $1 million?
And mom and them left me $1 million, that means that mom and them got it from somewhere. Mom and them worked hard. So that's tough. That's something totally different too. Because I'm not going to just throw away $1 million. I'm not saying by you sign that prenup and we don't work out, you ain't gonna be straight for the rest of your life because that's my heart. You always gonna be straight because anybody that know me, I give them my legs. You feel what I'm saying? You don't gotta, you don't gotta worry about that. And if you stay at home mom, you done did it that way, or you that helped me come in, you came in and helped me start running the business and this, that, and the third. Now I see your value. You feel what I'm saying? I see your value now. Or you at home with my kids. I see your value within that. So I'm most definitely gonna make sure you straight, whether we last or not. You feel what I'm saying? Because that comes along with knowing your person. Don't give it nobody that they rule the money over you talking about you don't do this, I ain't gonna do that. Or if you do this, I ain't gonna do that. You feel what I'm saying? That means you done got with the wrong type of mindset. A person with the wrong type of mindset, that person is not gonna give you anything. So you shouldn't have signed that prenup. But if it's a person that has a good heart and work for what they got, all right, I got to get signing right here. I'm gonna take care of you. And if that's if that's what they're on, I'm not even saying that's what I do. But if a person do, know that person you're one, male or female, because it may be a female to be like, hey, you may marry a recorded artist or something. It can happen, and they got multi platinum records and this, that, and the third. They're a billionaire and everything. So they might ask you to sign a prenup. You ain't gonna sign a prenup. That don't mean that person don't love you.
I one for somebody asked me to sign one, but I never put my lady in a position where I asked her to sign.
Yeah, I'm asking like I done went through the trenches, man, and I've been by myself and stuff like that. Now if they help me build it from the ground up, ain't no prenup to be talked about. You know what I'm saying? But if I already got it, no, it ain't.
When you going into it, it's mine. It's mine.
So what if you already got it, right?
If I already get it. Right.
Y'all get it before, but y'all didn't get it before the man, y'all just grew apart.
Right.
Still,
I'm gonna break it. No, she not already signed. No, a prenup is a prenup. It's already once it's signed, sealed, and delivered to my lawyer. But you know what I'm saying. So, but I'm gonna make sure she's straight. I'm gonna make sure if I got hundreds of millions of dollars, she most definitely gonna have millions of dollars. She gonna be rich. She gonna be rich coming into the marriage. She gonna be rich going out the marriage if it don't work. She's gonna be rich regardless. Because that's the type of person that I am. But you gotta watch for your person. You got to watch for your person. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure that person is your person, because you get into a relationship with the wrong type of person that's cold hearted and hard hearted. You might go out. You might sign a prenup you want to. You're gonna go out there on a zero, which you came in with. You know what I'm saying? Unless you smart. You know. So yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Why your face look like
Hmm.
Why your face look like
I don't
I
agree
agree.
either. Not at all.
You don't agree with That's cool.
Okay. No, I mean,
Uh,
only because of just how I am. I don't. Just like not because of like the money and stuff like that. It's just like how I'm wired.
How many of y'all agree with DJ Ray? How many of y'all? Okay, tell me why you agree with.
Cause everything he said was literally true. All of it. Literally,
Oh, literally.
literally. My bad. I
No,
can't
no, no.
pronounce
I
it.
can't hear you.
I agree with all of it. Honestly.
So you'll ask your wife for a prenup.
Most definitely. To this day. For the simple reason, I feel like if you truly love me, you go sign it.
But they can work both ways. If you truly love me, you're not gonna ask me to sign one.
True.
So when she truly love you, right? Y'all break up. And then you made her sign the print. She's gonna say, I ain't signing the divorce. Then what?
The divorce gonna eventually be fine.
Yeah.
But a prenup to me is agreeing that divorce is an option.
Basically.
When you sign a prenup, it's basically saying that a divorce is an option. If I find a wife or you find a husband, divorce shouldn't be an option. Because if not, you just got a relationship that y'all stood in front of the judge and said, I do. But if you take your marriage and value marriage like you should, then divorce should never come up. It should, once you say your I do, well, it ain't even really about saying your I do. It's really all this just man-made. When you commit yourself to a person and you commit yourself to a person as a husband or as a wife, then separation should be like this should be a word that is eliminated from your dictionary. Because it has no need, no power, it's not an option. It never happened. There is nothing that we can't go through in life, or nothing that can happen in life where we can't make it through. Get your arm out of the face. That we can't make it through. You know, a prenup is basically saying that y'all got that option to give up. And a prenup is basically saying that I value something in this marriage more than I value you.
I look at prenups like doubts. Like that's a
Now-
doubt, a big doubt.
Right.
Because if I'm
I don't-
signing this before going in, it means I don't love you wholeheartedly going in, because simple fact is something that I feel like divorce is an option somewhere down the road. And then if it is, I'm thinking about something. I don't care about what we gaining in this marriage or whatever, to the point that if we do divorce, that I want my half. Like, to be honest, half of the time with my mentality, half of the stuff that you bought, I probably don't want it because there's too many memories attached to it. Because I'm just like, I don't want to think about this. So, boom, I'm one of those. I go discard of it and stuff like that, or I just leave it because I don't like those kind of like strings or those kind of like things upon me when I'm leaving a situation.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that partially about the attachment, the things that you bring in, the things that you may have bought together, or something like that. Because with my ex-wife, I gave her everything because I didn't want anything that reminded me of the past or her or whatever, things of that nature. But going back to the prenup thing is just, to me, in my sense, in my mind, it's just a thing of, I done worked hard for what I get. You know what I'm saying? They don't mean this. No, this does not mean that you that I love you any less or anything else. But this is mindset. This is my mindset. It's different type of mindsets when it comes down. You got to go to the restaurant. Go ahead. So this is my mentality. It's not. Oh, okay, I just want a prenup. I love you. I love you any less, or I'm thinking about getting a divorce. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting a divorce on us before I even get started. Nah, that ain't my mindset. Because that's why that person got to know me. They got to know my heart. Because each individual is different. Each individual in her is different. So for you to think one way That's a narrow way to think. That's a narrow way to think. You know what I'm saying? You got to know, like, come back to what I said. You got to know your person. So this person will work hard. What they have, and they have it. And they want you to sign a prenup. You shouldn't have no problem with it. Oh, no, I'm cool with that, baby. You know what I'm saying? Because you know that person. You know that person. You know your person. You mean you're not marrying a stranger.
Right.
You know this person gonna take care of me regardless. But I respect your hustle, I respect your grind, I respect your company, I respect you enough to be like, babe, I got you. And anything else? Because what we finna do? How can I help your company? How can I help you build? You know what I'm saying? With that type of mentality, and you go build from there. If you come in with a builder's mentality, a help me mentality, ain't nothing that man ain't gonna give you. You're gonna be a multi-millionaire just like that man is, or that woman is. You can't be narrow-minded as it relates to a piece of paper. A piece of paper don't determine nothing. Just like a marriage don't determine nothing. It takes two individuals to determine whether or not that thing gonna work or not. You know what I'm saying? Whether that thing gonna be successful or not a piece of paper. So you gotta know your person. Can't be narrow-minded. As it relates, piece of paper ain't nothing but a piece of paper. Unless two people are willing to put the work in.
And that's what I mean by the marriage, though. That's why I said about the prenup. Like, you know how you were saying, like, I work hard for my money. It's just like that same mentality. That's why I get what you're saying about your person, too, because it's people out there, like you say, everybody different.
Right.
It's women out there with the same mentality like that. So you have to give with someone like that. But it's like what you were saying about the mentality is like working hard and stuff. It's the same way I feel about the marriage. Like when the prenup, the paper sitting right here, like you say, this is just a paper. Like, work hard for this marriage to the point where it never have to get to the point where of divorce. Like whenever anything come up where it's starting to fight or anything like that, we talking about counseling. We talking about like there's a bigger fight to not get towards the prenup, to not get towards the divorce than it is to get to that point, right? And so that's like you said, your person, you got to be like-minded, like-hearted, like-spirited, because it's simple fact. If you get with somebody that's like that, that's why I just say you get with somebody who's usually using you anyway, because it's simple fact. But you kind of know that too, because that's why the prenup is on the table, because you be like, no, I feel like, eventually if I outgrow you or you outgrow me.
No, I'm not even thinking about it. I'm not thinking about that even in that term. I'm just thinking about it in terms of where I am now. And you know what I'm saying? What I have built. That's just simply it. I'm talking about it's really no deep. It's really not deep, no deeper than that. Then I'm just thinking in terms of what I built.
Right.
How hard it was.
Right.
Baby. If I got a whole lot more than she got. Nope, no need.
Oh, so it's really based on that. It's based on okay, gotcha.
Because we merge, we still merging. They ain't no we merge.
So they have to be at your level in order to. Right. Oh, okay, gotcha. Right.
She got a good bag. No problem. I probably wouldn't let her sign one. I probably wouldn't let her, because if she have the same mentality that I have, and it's up there, and it's up there with mine, mentality wise, and she showed me that off of that, because I like this thing, what I like to call mean time in between time, because a person will show you in the meantime, in between time, what they really made of, what's on the inside of them, what's their worth, what's their value. And you can't buy value, either you have it or you don't have it. You know what I'm saying? So if their values come up to the standards, it's ways around what I'm saying, but I have to see it. You know what I'm saying? So if I don't see it, and I know who I am and what I am, and I'm a go-getter, and I don't want to throw a ball to a person that can't handle my ball. You know what I'm saying? So they got to be able to slam dunk it, pass it to the right person, and everything else, to throw it for the touchdown. Or, you know what I'm saying? Whatever that person that I choose, that person that chooses me.
So if your woman is not already equally there with you, say for instance, you potentially see that she could be there, that would like go ahead and drive you to go ahead and marry her and do the prenup because you see potentially she could get there? Or what would make you go ahead and marry someone that's not already on their level?
No, I wouldn't marry nobody that's not mentally on the level that where I'm going, because I believe it'll bring a weight on me. So that's what you call it. That's why I say you have your in between time, your mean time, in between time. That's why you going in your bag, unpacking some stuff, and you putting stuff in there which value, purpose, promise, driven. You know what I'm saying? You put other things that are of value in your bag other than the negativity. You know what I'm saying? Laziness, this, that, and the third, the negative stuff. You're taking that out. You feel what I'm saying? So now you building your bag to be value to that person. We talked about last week. Talk about pain points. Shoot, your man or your woman may have a pain point. Pain point what? Pain point as it relates to I need to solve a problem. I don't know how to solve it. You come along, you solve it. Now you have become valuable to that person. You feel what I'm saying? And value carry weight. Like I said, you can't pay for it. You feel me? Just like Miss Von, she was like, man, you know what I'm saying? Y'all doing this podcasting video, yeah. I appreciate it because that ain't my lane. But she got so many other different lanes. You feel what I'm saying? She filled this room up yesterday with so much money. It was ridiculous. If she don't have a man, I don't see why. Because that woman there is valuable. You feel me? She might not even be a millionaire yet. But her connection is so valuable. As it relates to politicians, as it relates to people, against people of all sorts. Yeah, y'all volunteered yesterday. You know, it was so much money in this room. So that's what I'm saying. Because so it can get to the point where if that woman don't have a dime, but she got value, she has connections, she know her worth, maybe. Yeah. I think I made my point.
Damn, be quiet.
I'm gonna ask you.
That's right. Even if she didn't have a
Why is the whole thing based off material? No, well, not necessarily you, but you too, but material things. Like, what about the value she brings to you? Like, okay, because the woman can become be a millionaire today. All these connections, all this everything, become handicapped and can't get up and go to work, or lose her voice, can't make no phone calls or something, to where she can no longer network like she networked then. Then what? Like, what?
Then I know because what she already showed me. Because if them values was their way, those values was their way before me. You feel what I'm saying? I just get this one fashion. She became my mentor. Then she didn't have those values and things, the way she moved, the things that she do, and the people that she connected with when she just met me.
Yeah, nah. I'm saying like the marriage. As far as the marriage, like you marry her, she bring them those type of values to the marriage, so you're not really worried about the prenup because you basing it off those values that she bring.
I'm basing off the value that I saw when I first got into a relationship with her. During the meantime,
I was talking about like
Are you
unpacking
quiet?
bags, building
right. You feel what I'm saying? I'm basing it off that.
Okay.
I'm not basing it off of we get married and she has next to me. No, it's off the bus when I first met her. You know what I'm saying? And she was moving and grooving and doing that thing. Okay. You know what I'm saying? That's something I can roll with right there because I hold some of them type of values as well. That's my person. You feel what I'm saying? So it's gonna make it just a whole lot easier for me to maneuver and do me. You know what I'm saying? Because that person know how to build me. You feel me? So that person know if I pick it left, you pick it right, we gonna still land in the same spot. You feel what I'm saying? Because they know me. Because we carry some of the same type of value. That's what I'm saying. So that would, to me in my book, that's the thing that would not avoid a freedom for me. So I would make that person sign freedom because they on my mental level.
What happens if y'all get into that situation or whatever? you start to supersede them financially, connect wise, network wise, financial wise, like super succeed. Like she $1 million now. You fat 50, 60 million.
Yeah, I'm good. You know,
So you
because
ain't gonna come back and be like, we need to sign this thing
no,
up. Get this.
because there's no need for it. You know what I'm saying? There's no need for that because I saw the value in the beginning of that person and their worth in the beginning. That's why I married them. It had nothing to do with money now.
All right. So, but then why not marry? I mean, why marry somebody? Why not marry? I mean, why? What you say?
It's about money.
See, that's what. Yeah, that's where I had a problem with because it's about money. Like it ain't about
It's
money.
about assets too. It can be
No, well, anything,
yeah,
anything that's materialistic or anything.
It's a problem. Some people, a lot of people do it for many reasons. A lot of people do it because they want to cover themselves. You know, because they've been hurt before. It's that third and that person really loves them. You know what I'm saying? That side, it's just so easy that you love me and not my stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because you could if a person been hurt before and everything else, and they can deal with you know, and they end up getting married to the wrong type of person, they can take them down through there. They didn't earn something. They been over there sleeping around with every time dick and hair. Man, come on, let's make it make sense.
They can take you down through there though without touching your stuff material. Like they can take you down through there by not fulfilling you, not trying to fulfill you, not giving a flying fluke about you.
So one thing about this, you're gonna take it down through there, you're gonna get a wolf with clothes. You're gonna walk out there as a broke wolf. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a problem for real. You gotta be careful. My thing is you have to be careful. Prenup is not one of those things that you hear really pretty much in the back the whole life. My point is you have to be careful of your person that you do. And if you have any doubts, don't marry. You know what I'm saying? And the thing in my other point is that person value equals with your value or almost at your value level. You could probably not board that prenup. You know what I'm saying? But if you got a whole lot going on, a whole lot good going on, just to cover yourself in your lineage, you got better, you got kids. Because it's not just about me. I got a son and a daughter. I think about them all the time. You feel me? Because you want to leave an inheritance to your children. You don't want to end up marrying somebody that's going to dog you. You know what I'm saying? And take away from the inheritance of your children. You feel what I'm saying? So it's all about knowing your person and knowing their value, what they bring to the table. And that relates to all of it. The whole thing, how they make you feel, what they have, how they move, what's their energy level. You know, there's so many other things that go along with, you know, so you just have to know your person.
She said just a little bit.
I'm against that part.
That's
Because
fine.
only reason I'm gonna say that because when I'm older than all of them. So when I'm in a relationship or getting into a relationship, because I've only been into with my child father and others, I come with my own already. I'm an independent Jimmy. I don't need a man. You just an add-on.
Yeah.
So you saying that about money, then this like you gonna think about money in this relationship? It's crazy.
You missing the point. I'm not thinking about money. I'm just saying, come down
I'm
to
saying,
it.
but if we get married though, and if we got married and this person had more money than me, but we there, I won't want to sign no prenup because I won't want nothing from you.
But you're not gonna marry a person that you're not gonna put, you know, they don't place value in your life and you don't place value in theirs.
Right.
Right. So you know what I'm saying? So prenup might not even might not even come to the table. You know what I'm saying? Because that person is your worth and how you take care of them and your value and how you gonna contribute to the marriage, it's worth more money than the world. You make that person forget about it. But they just knuckleheads and this and the third, they kind of paranoid about it. You know what I'm saying? Which I won't be. I think I'm gonna judge the person in the world, to be honest. Like, you know, and I don't think I ever have a person else, you know, sign a prenup. It's just my belief. It just all depends on the situation. You know what I'm saying? You know, but if you carry value into that relationship, it's not gonna ever come up, in my opinion.
Now I understand because you like your value, like how she's saying it and how Lynn is saying it, is because it's like materialistic or value as far as like monetary. Then there's value as an intern, like
Right.
what that person, how they make you feel, like how you just was explaining. So it's like two different values. So people do marry for these values. Like you got to choose which one that you want. Because I know some women, right? So it's either one. But then it's one, like even because what's in you gonna come out. So if you value within, you're gonna be resourceful in a marriage regardless. Because
In a relationship with God.
we're in a relationship, in a situationship, in a whatever. Because what's in you, you know, nobody can take that from you. You can make that money, you can do whatever. But at the same time, but you can have somebody that's like pressuring you to do so. Me like, oh, I have to have 100K, or I have to have make 6 figures on a job or something like that. Because you know, you got people that's what they into. They like it. That's what they want. I got to have somebody because that's who I am. And I feel like if anybody underneath it, like he said, it's a weight. So I can't be up here trying to coach you or help you get to this point when I'm already here. I need you here so we can excel. Now wait till you get here. You coach.
Coach you if you coach.
And
You know
then
what I'm saying?
okay.
Yeah.
So
Because you might help me. If you gonna be my wife,
basically,
if you gonna be my wife, you my wife. You my wife. I did you being my wife before we get to the altar. You know what I'm saying?
basically.
You don't become my wife because hey, you become my wife when we say, hey, we're in a committed relationship. You become my wife. You feel what I'm saying? Yes, we got to get to the altar.
Right.
But I don't start treating you like my wife when we say I do. You know what I'm saying?
Already did.
So because you sleeping around while we dating or something like that, you know, you still gonna be sleeping around when we get a piece of paper. We ain't gonna cut that off because we got a piece of paper. You know what I'm saying? It's just a piece of paper.
Right.
You know, but if you really my wife, I'm cutting ties with everything before we get to the altar because I committed to you.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? A relationship is about commitment. You know, so if I committed to you, you're my wife. So I'm gonna start doing husband duty. You know what I'm saying? Besides the sex, I'm gonna start doing husband duties, and you know, and that means we already share value. We already share purpose. You feel what I'm saying? We already share dreams and goals, and we moving towards those things together before we even reach the altar because it's time to build. You feel what I'm saying? So
Once you realize that's your person.
right.
Okay.
Once I realize that's my person.
Okay.
Any more questions? Nobody.
Give it up for it. That was good, y'all.
Like it was-